Eva's phone buzzed at 3:47 a.m. She jerked awake, heart already racing before her conscious mind caught up. Beside her, Sean's breathing remained steady, deep, even the rhythm of sleep. She'd been grateful for that lately, grateful he couldn't see her face in the dark, couldn't read the fear she was barely containing. The phone buzzed again, insistent, demanding. She slipped out of bed with practiced silence. 5 days since the first threatening email. 3 days since the second. She'd been waiting for the third, dreading it. The bathroom door closed with a soft click. She locked it, turned on the shower to mask any sound, sat on the closed toilet lid with trembling hands and opened her burner phone. Unknown sender. Of course. Subject. Final instructions. Her stomach dropped through the floor. She opened it. Hello again, Eva. Marcus grows impatient. His time is limited, as you know. So let's stop dancing and get to business. You will steal the following from Sean Lee's private server. Complete financial records for Lee Enterprises, last 5 years. Documentation of all offshore accounts, names and contact information for his business partners. Any records of transactions that might interest Korean tax authorities. You will also withdraw $2 million in cash from your joint accounts. Consider it back payment for what you stole from Marcus in 1997. With interest. Deadline, 72 hours from now. Friday, 11:59 p.m. Deliver everything to the address below. Come alone. Tell no one. Or we start hurting people you love. Beginning with Mina. Attached is proof we're serious. Eva's hands shook so violently she almost dropped the phone. She opened the attachment. Photograph. Recent. Yesterday, maybe. Mina leaving her apartment building. Camera bag over her shoulder. Coffee in hand. Unaware she was being watched. A red circle drawn around her head. Crosshairs. The message continued. We're watching her. We're watching you. We know your routines. Where you work. Where she works. The gallery. The cultural center. The penthouse you share with your billionaire. Marcus wants you to understand something. Eva, you took everything from him. His money. His freedom. 15 years in prison because the shipment you stole was traced back to him. 15 years of his life gone. Now he's dying. 6 months, maybe less. Before he goes, he wants to watch you lose everything the way he did. So you have a choice. Give us what we want, disappear from Seoul and everyone you love stays safe. Or refuse and we start taking them. One by one. We'll start with the girl. Then maybe your sister. Then your boyfriend discovers exactly what kind of woman he's been sleeping with. 72 hours, Eva. Clock's ticking. The phone slipped from her fingers. Clattered against tile. Eva couldn't breathe. The bathroom walls pressed in. Steam from the shower made the air thick, suffocating. She could only see Mina's face in that photograph. Her baby, 23 years old. Alive and laughing and completely unaware that her mother's past was hunting her with crosshairs and deadline countdowns. 72 hours. The number burned behind her eyes like a brand. Her mind spiraled back. Unwanted, unstoppable. London, 1997. 27 years that felt like yesterday when the fear came. Flashback, London, 1997. Eva at 23, sitting in a dingy London pub, counting coins that wouldn't cover next month's rent. Student visa running out. No money to extend it. Parents back in Seoul expecting her to finish her semester abroad and come home successful. She had 47 pounds to her name. You look like you could use a drink. Marcus Wright. 38, handsome in that dangerous way, expensive coat over jeans. British accent smooth as expensive whiskey. I'm fine, she'd said. You're counting change in a pub at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're the opposite of fine. He'd sat without invitation. Ordered her a gin and tonic she hadn't asked for. I have a job. Easy money. You interested? She should have said no. Should have walked away. But 47 pounds wouldn't get her home. Wouldn't save her from the shame of calling her parents and admitting she'd failed. What kind of job? His smile had been charming then. She hadn't recognized it as predatory yet. Courier work. You pick up a package. You deliver it. You don't ask questions. 5,000 pounds per delivery. 5,000 pounds. More money than she'd ever seen. That's illegal. That's survival. He'd slid a card across the table. Think about it. Call me when you're ready to stop being desperate. She'd called him the next day. The first 2 deliveries were easy. Pick up a package at a warehouse. Deliver it to an address. Walk away. No questions. 10,000 pounds that felt like salvation. The third delivery was different. She'd known something was wrong the moment she arrived at the meeting point. A condemned building in East London, windows broken, graffiti screaming territorial warnings. The men waiting inside weren't the usual buyers. They were younger, twitchy, high on something. Where's Marcus? She'd asked. Marcus sent us. Hand over the package. She tried to leave. They'd blocked the door. Package first, bitch. Everything had happened fast after that. Too fast. One of them grabbed her bag. She'd fought back. Shoved him. He'd pulled a gun. Then the others had guns. Then Marcus's people had arrived. Backup she hadn't known was watching. Gunfire. Screaming. Bodies falling. Eva on the floor, hands over her head. The package split open beside her. White powder and bundled cash spilling across concrete. 2 men dead. Maybe more. She couldn't tell through the chaos. When silence finally came, Marcus had pulled her to her feet. You okay? She wasn't. Would never be again. Take the money, he'd said, shoving cash into her hands. All of it. 200,000 pounds. Take it and get out of London. Tonight. What? Why? Because the police are coming. Because those dead men have friends. Because you're a loose end, Eva. And loose ends get cut. His eyes had been cold. Final. You take the money. You disappear. You never mention my name. Understood. She'd understood one thing. If she didn't run, she'd end up dead or in prison. So she'd run. Taken the money. Caught the first flight to Seoul. Never looked back. Never spoke of it again. Until now. Present day. Eva gasped, pulled back to the present by the sound of the shower still running. 27 years. She'd thought she'd buried London deep enough. Thought Marcus had forgotten. Thought the scared 23-year-old who'd stolen drug money and fled across continents was someone else entirely. But the past never forgot. It just waited for you to build something worth destroying. She picked up the burner phone with numb fingers. Reread the instructions. Steal from Sean. $2 million. 72 hours. She could do it. Sean had given her all his access codes. Trusted her with his business, his life, his empire. He'd shown her how his security systems worked, proud and open, wanting her to understand his world. That trust felt like broken glass now. Sharp, cutting, impossible to hold without bleeding. But if she didn't do this, Marcus's people would hurt Mina. Her daughter. Her baby. The one purely good thing she'd ever created. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. Eva deleted the email. Cleared her history. Flushed the burner phone down the toilet. Too dangerous to keep now. She'd memorized everything. The instructions. The address. The deadline. When she returned to bed, Sean was exactly as she'd left him. Asleep. Peaceful. One arm stretched across her side of the bed like he'd been reaching for her. She slid beneath his arm. Let him pull her close automatically, still sleeping. His heartbeat was steady against her back. Strong. Certain. She tried to memorize the feeling. Because tomorrow night, she'd betray him to save their daughter. And by the time he discovered what she'd done, she'd be gone. The next morning arrived too fast. Eva went through the motions. Coffee at 6. Sean reading business reports while she pretended to grade student poetry. Their usual comfortable silence felt like walking on glass. One wrong step and everything would shatter. You okay? He asked without looking up from his tablet. Fine. Just tired. You've been tired a lot lately. His eyes lifted. Found hers. Dark. Unreadable. Seeing too much. Anything you want to talk about? Yes. Everything. Please help me. I'm drowning and I don't know how to ask for help. No. Just work stress. Spring exhibition planning. He studied her face. She felt the weight of his gaze, the way he could always see through her carefully constructed masks. But he just nodded slowly. If you need to talk, I'm here. Always. You know that. I know. The lie tasted like copper. like blood. At the cultural center, Eva taught on autopilot, smiled at students, offered feedback on their poems about loss and longing and learning that some things break so completely they can't be put back together. The irony wasn't lost on her. During lunch, she locked her office door, pulled out her personal phone, opened Sean's business system using the credentials he'd given her months ago. "In case you ever need anything," he'd said, trusting absolutely. "My world is your world now." The files were there. Everything Marcus wanted. 5 years of financial records, offshore accounts, business partner information, transactions that were perfectly legal but could be twisted, manipulated, used to destroy everything Sean had built. Her finger hovered over the download button. But copying this much data would trigger security alerts. His team would investigate, find her digital fingerprints all over the breach. He'd know it was her, unless she was smarter. Eva closed the laptop, made her decision. She'd have to do this from his office. After hours. Use his direct terminal to avoid detection protocols. Download everything to an external drive. Leave no trace except the missing data itself. Break into Lee Enterprises and steal from the man she loved. Her phone buzzed. "Mina, lunch tomorrow? I miss your face." Eva's vision blurred. She typed with shaking hands, swamped with exhibition work. "Next week? I love you so much." She couldn't face Mina. Couldn't look at her daughter knowing she might be the reason Mina got hurt. Knowing that in 48 hours, Eva would disappear from her life to keep her safe. Another text. "Sean, this time. Dinner tonight? Want to take you somewhere special." God, if he knew what she was planning. "Can't tonight. Behind on grading. Rain check." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "You've been distant. Is everything okay with us?" The question landed like a punch. "Everything's fine. Promise. Just stressed. I love you. I love you too. Always." She set down the phone, put her head in her hands. 46 hours until the deadline. Tomorrow night, she'd destroy everything she'd built. Betray the man who'd waited 32 years for her. Break the trust she'd finally learned to accept. But Mina would live. That was all that mattered. Even if it meant Eva had to disappear forever. That night, Eva lay rigid beside Sean. His arm was draped across her waist. Possessive even in sleep. Protective. Trusting in a way that made her chest ache. She'd been staring at the ceiling for 3 hours. Planning. Memorizing. Preparing. Tomorrow. She'd do it tomorrow night. Friday. When Sean would be at a late dinner meeting. She'd tell him she was working late at the center. Go to Lee Enterprises instead. Download everything. Have it ready for the Friday night deadline. Then she'd deliver it. Disappear. Leave Seoul before Sean woke up Saturday morning and discovered what she'd done. Leave behind the penthouse. The cultural center. The life where she was finally visible and valued and loved. But Mina would be safe. Sean shifted. Pulled her closer. Even asleep, he held her like he was afraid she'd vanish. "I'm sorry," she thought. "I'm so sorry. You trusted me and I'm gonna break that trust. But I can't lose her. I can't watch my daughter die because of mistakes I made when I was 23. She closed her eyes. Didn't sleep. Just lay there in the dark. Feeling the weight of what she was about to do crushing down like the sky was falling one piece at a time. Somewhere in Seoul, Marcus Wright's people were watching. Waiting. Counting down the hours until Eva Tomfield destroyed herself to save the people she loved. 43 hours. The clock was ticking. Sean Lee wasn't sleeping. He lay perfectly still in the dark, his arm draped across Eva's waist, breathing slow and measured. The performance of sleep he'd perfected decades ago when knowing things without showing you knew them kept you alive. Eva thought he was asleep. She'd been thinking that for 3 days now. 3 days since that dinner conversation when he'd asked about London and watched her face drain of color. Watched fear flash across her features before she buried it under lies. 3 days of watching the woman he loved pull away inch by terrified inch. She thought she was hiding it. The way she flinched when her phone buzzed. The forced brightness in her smile. The fact that she hadn't really looked at him, truly looked, since that night. She'd been going through motions, playing a role, pretending everything was fine while her hands shook and her eyes went distant and she stopped sleeping beside him. She stopped letting him touch her in any way that mattered. Sean had given her space, time, waited for her to trust him enough to tell him what was wrong. But patience had limits. Tonight, lying in the dark beside her rigid body, feeling her breathing too fast and too shallow, he knew. Whatever was coming was happening soon. So he waited. At 1:47 a.m., Eva's breathing changed, became deliberately controlled. The shift from genuine sleep to wakefulness masked as rest. 2:03 a.m., she moved. Slowly, carefully, sliding out from under his arm like she'd practiced it. Her feet touched the floor without sound. She stood there for 30 seconds, he counted them, watching him, making sure he was asleep. He kept his breathing steady. Eyes closed. Every muscle relaxed. She moved to the closet. The soft whisper of fabric. Dark clothes being pulled on. Jeans. Black shirt. She was dressing for something that required invisibility. Sean's jaw tightened. He forced it to relax. She grabbed her phone. Her keys. Paused at the bedroom door. He felt her looking back at him one last time. Then she was gone. The apartment door closed with a soft click 5 minutes later. Sean opened his eyes, sat up in the dark, pulled out his phone. Not the one on the nightstand, the other one, the one she didn't know about, and opened the tracking app he'd installed on her phone 3 days ago. He wasn't proud of it, hated himself for the invasion, but he'd learned long ago that loving someone meant protecting them, even from themselves, even when they didn't want protection. The dot that was Eva moved through Seoul's late-night streets, heading southeast, toward Gangnam, toward Lee Enterprises. His stomach dropped even though he'd suspected this. Known it really, since he'd seen her accessing his business systems 2 days ago during her lunch break. Watched her hesitate over files she had no reason to be viewing. He'd said nothing, done nothing, just watched, waited, hoping she'd come to him. She hadn't. Now she was going to his office at 2 in the morning to steal from him. Sean stood, already dressed. He'd been wearing jeans and a t-shirt under the covers, prepared for this exact scenario. Grabbed his jacket, his keys, the tablet that would show him security footage in real time. Called his head of security. The phone was answered on the first ring. "Sir, she's coming to the office. Let her in. Give her access to whatever she needs. Disable any alerts her presence would trigger." Silence. Then, "Sir, are you sure? If she's accessing sensitive files." "I know what she's doing." His voice was cold, clinical, the tone that made grown men reconsider their questions. "I want full surveillance footage. But don't stop her. Don't let her know she's being watched." "Understood. Understood, sir." Sean ended the call, pulled up the security feed on his tablet. Watched Eva's car pull into the Lee Enterprises parking garage. Watched her walk to the elevator with hunched shoulders and trembling hands. Watched her use the keycard he'd given her to access his private floor. The 40th floor corridor appeared on screen. Eva walking down it like she was heading to her own execution. Her black and gray hair pulled back. Face pale. She looked terrified. She looked like she was breaking. His office door. She hesitated, her hand on the keypad. Then she entered the code, his birthday, the date he'd asked her to move in, numbers he'd given her because he trusted her with everything. The door opened. She stepped inside his office. Sean watched on the tablet. Watched her stand there for a moment, looking around like she was memorizing it. His desk, his windows, the photo frame he kept, her laughing at the cultural center opening, captured when she didn't know anyone was watching. Then she moved to his computer, logged in with his credentials, pulled out an external hard drive from her pocket, started downloading files. Her hands shook so badly she dropped the drive twice. She was crying, silently, tears streaming down her face while she stole from him. "Tell me why," Sean whispered to the screen. "Just tell me what they're threatening you with." But Eva just cried and downloaded files and apologized to empty air. "I'm sorry." Her lips moved. "I'm so sorry. I don't have a choice. I have to keep her safe. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry." Her. Mina. Someone was threatening Mina. Everything clicked into place. The fear. the distance, the stolen files. Eva was being blackmailed, forced to choose between betraying him and protecting their daughter. And she'd chosen Mina. Of course she had. Sean's phone rang. Different number. Mina. His blood went cold. He answered. Mina. Sean. Her voice was breathless. Panicked. Something's wrong with Mom. Really wrong. I went to check on her at the penthouse and she's not there, but her phone is, and I found. She was crying now. I found messages. Emails. Threats. There's photos of me and some man from London named Marcus Wright, and they're threatening to hurt me if Mom doesn't. I know, he said quietly. Silence. Then, you know. Your mother is at my office right now, taking files she thinks I don't know she's taking. What? Why would she? Because someone told her that stealing from me would keep you safe. His jaw clenched. Because she thinks she has to do this alone. We need to stop her. No. He watched Eva on the screen, downloading the last of the files, wiping her eyes, trying to compose herself. We need to let her finish. But, Mina, listen to me. His voice went hard, commanding. Stay at the penthouse. Lock the doors. Don't leave for any reason. I'm bringing your mother home, and then she's going to tell us everything. Every detail about London, Marcus Wright, what happened 27 years ago, and exactly what they're threatening her with. How did you know about London? Because I've been investigating since the moment someone sent me an email asking about it. He grabbed his car keys, started walking toward his private elevator. I know your mother was connected to Marcus Wright. I know he went to prison. I know she came back to Seoul and never spoke of it. What I don't know is the full story. And I can't protect either of you if I don't know what we're facing. Sean. Mina's voice cracked. Is Mom going to be okay? He looked at the tablet screen. Eva putting the external drive in her pocket, looking around his office one last time. Her face was devastated. Lost. I'm going to make sure of it, he said. Even if she won't let me. He ended the call, pulled up the security feed showing the parking garage. Eva would be leaving soon, heading back to the penthouse, thinking she'd gotten away with it. He'd let her think that for exactly 15 more minutes. Then he was going to his office, and Eva was going to tell him the truth. All of it, whether she wanted to or not. Eva made it to the parking garage before her legs gave out. She leaned against her car, gasping for air, the external hard drive in her pocket feeling like it weighed 1,000 pounds. She'd done it. Downloaded everything Marcus's people wanted. Financial records, offshore accounts, partner information, 5 years of Sean's business laid bare. Everything that could destroy him. Her hands were still shaking. She couldn't make them stop. I'm sorry, she'd whispered to his empty office. I'm so sorry, but I can't lose Mina. I can't watch my daughter die because of my mistakes. She pulled out her phone. No messages. No calls. Maybe Sean was still asleep. Maybe he'd never know she'd been here. Maybe. The parking garage elevator opened. Sean stepped out. Eva's heart stopped. He was dressed, fully alert, walking toward her with purpose. His gray-black-white hair caught the harsh fluorescent light. His face was composed, empty, but his eyes... God, his eyes were devastated. Sean, her voice came out broken. I can explain. Can you? He stopped 5 feet away, hands in his pockets, dangerously calm. Because I've been waiting 3 days for you to explain. Watching you pull away, watching you terrified, giving you every opportunity to trust me with whatever's wrong. She backed up until she hit her car. How did you? I know you, Eva. Every expression, every tell, every lie. He took another step closer. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? The way you froze when I asked about London. The fear, the distance, the fact that you haven't let me touch you, really touch you in 3 days. You've been watching me. I've been loving you. There's a difference. His voice went rough. What I haven't been doing is understanding why you couldn't trust me. Why you thought you had to break into my office at 2 in the morning and steal from me instead of coming to me for help. Tears spilled down her face. They threatened Mina. I know. She stared at him. How? Because she called me 10 minutes ago. She's at the penthouse. She found the threatening messages you didn't delete thoroughly enough. His jaw clenched. She's terrified, Eva. Thinks something terrible has happened to you. And I had to tell her that her mother is currently stealing company secrets from me because someone convinced her that betraying me would keep her safe. The words hit like physical blows. Eva's knees buckled. She slid down the side of her car until she was sitting on the concrete. I was trying to protect you. Her voice broke. Both of you. If I gave them what they wanted, they'd leave you alone. Leave Mina alone. I could disappear and what? We just accept that? Move on. He crouched in front of her. Close enough she smelled his cologne. Cedar and something darker, familiar and devastating. Did you really think I'd let you disappear? That I'd just wake up one morning, find you gone, and think, well, that's that? You'd be safer without me. I'd be fucking destroyed without you. The control finally cracked. His voice rose, echoed through the empty garage. Do you understand that? I've waited 32 years for you, Eva. 32 years. I'm not losing you to some threat from your past because you were too scared to trust me with the truth. People died because of me. The confession ripped out of her. In London, 27 years ago, a drug deal went wrong and people died and I stole money and ran and Marcus went to prison because of me and now he's dying and he wants revenge and I can't. She was sobbing now. Full, body-shaking sobs. I can't let him hurt you or Mina because of what I did when I was 23 and stupid and desperate. Sean went very still. His phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. His face went completely blank. What? Eva whispered. He showed her. Photo. Mina, bound to a chair. Duct tape over her mouth. Terror in her eyes. Fresh bruise blooming on her cheek. Text below, you have what we want. $2 million cash plus the documents. 12 hours. We'll send delivery instructions. Come alone. Tell the boyfriend and she dies. Eva's world tilted. Sean caught her before she hit the ground. They have her. Eva couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Oh God. They have my baby. They have Mina. Eva. Look at me. He gripped her shoulders. Hard. Look at me right now. She looked. His face was steel. Carved from granite and fury. How many people does Marcus have in Seoul? I don't know. 2? 3? Sean. They have our daughter. How many did he have in his organization in London? What does that matter? Answer the question. 6. Maybe 8. She was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. But that was 27 years ago. I don't know who. Are any of them ex-military? Some of them, maybe. How did you know about? Because I've been investigating Marcus Wright since that fucking email arrived 3 days ago. His hands framed her face. Forced her to focus. Did you think I'd just ignore a threat to you? I've had people digging into him. I know he's dying. I know he did 15 years in UK prison for drug trafficking. I know you were somehow connected to him. What I didn't know was the full story. His voice dropped. Dangerous. And now our daughter is paying the price for your silence. The words cut deeper than any blade. I'm sorry. She was sobbing. I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting her. I thought if I just gave them what they wanted. You thought wrong. He released her. Stood. Pulled out his phone. You should have come to me the moment that first threat arrived. We could have handled this. Protected Mina. Stopped this before it got this far. They said if I told you. They lied. That's what blackmailers do, Eva. They isolate you. Make you think you're alone. Make you desperate enough to make stupid choices. He was texting furiously. But you're not alone. You never were. And now we're going to fix this. How? They have Mina. They want money and files and they're going to get exactly what they expect. His smile was cold. Predatory. Nothing like the man who made her coffee every morning. This was someone else. Someone dangerous. They think you're alone. Scared. Easy to control. They're wrong on all counts. He made a call. Someone answered immediately. It's me. I need the team. Full tactical. We have a kidnapping situation. Then a pause. Yes now. I'll send you the details. Bring everything. We move in 2 hours. He ended the call. Made another. I need a location trace on this number. He read off the number the text came from. How long? Good. Send it to my phone the moment you have it. He pocketed the phone. Looked at Eva still sitting on the concrete. Get in the car. We're going back to the penthouse. But the files, they want the files. I know what they want, and they'll get it. But not before I know everything. He pulled her to her feet. You're going to tell me the full story about London. Every detail. What happened? Who died? Why Marcus went to prison. What you stole. All of it. Right now. Sean. No more secrets. No more lies. His voice went hard. Final. You're going to trust me with the truth, Eva. Because I can't plan an extraction if I don't know what we're dealing with. So you're going to tell me everything. And then we're going to get our daughter back. How? By doing what I do best. He opened her car door. Making problems disappear. 20 minutes later, they sat in the penthouse kitchen. Eva, Sean, and Mina's favorite coffee mugs sitting on the counter. A gift Eva had given her for her 21st birthday, painted with, I shoot people, and a camera underneath. Felt like a memorial. Eva told him everything. London, 1997. Being 23.